Well, hey there, folks.
Hi. How are you, Marcel?
It's super awesome to be here with you guys. This is cool. No, I mean, you know what? It's such an important topic, and I'm so glad that you guys were able to jump on and do this. And I know it's probably going to take a few minutes before our viewers and guests start jumping in. I'm not seeing big numbers yet, but they'll start popping in here soon.
Right.
So I don't want to jump into the meat of everything quite yet.
Are you recording as well, Marcel?
It records, yeah. It'll record on both platforms, on Facebook and on YouTube. And so they're playing live right now. I would ask you probably to hesitate from going on YouTube or Facebook to see if they're there, because you'll hear feedback, because it's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. Hi, Marcia. I see Marcia just jumped on.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
There she is. I see Marcia. I promised Marcia I was going to talk about something that she's doing this week, so I will absolutely do that when we get a few more viewers on. So first and foremost, I want to introduce you guys. I don't think I need to introduce Craig, but next to me here, we have Craig Burross. Craig obviously is a guy who's been in the business for a very long time, and I don't think he needs much of a bio or an introduction. He's worked for a few different companies, more than one. Well, 3 companies in what, 30 years? That's not so bad, I guess.
That's right.
And so Craig is, I believe, you're the director of Robe Backstage.
Well, I'm one of the directors, board. Lori as well, Joseph Voucher.
So maybe Craig, you can introduce the other 2 individuals who are on here, so that we can understand who they are as well.
Sure. Other board member is Lori Cochenour, and Lori is also the CEO of Robe North America, our subsidiary. And then Bryan Matthews. Bryan Matthews volunteers for RobeBackstage.org, and he develops all of our media content, marketing materials, and he's lent us an amazing support hand since getting this thing off the ground.
That's amazing. Sorry, I'm just trying to reply to a couple of comments here that people are texting to me, because they're not using the comments on the stream here. So you can try to get people to do what you want them to do, but you know, people are going to do what they're going to do, right? That's how
we're creatures of habit.
We're a creative bunch. We're a creative bunch. So, you know, I did this thing with Wiseman last week, and we really, I think we struck a nerve. I got a million calls and texts after it. A lot of people talking to me just about the fact that, you know, hey, some people aren't ready right now, you know. And the reason Wiseman contacted me was because of the unfortunate and untimely death of Andy, who was the stage manager with Foo Fighters. And, you know, Wiseman was there in the thick of it, and it was a very, very sad time. And, you know, unfortunately, now you're seeing another GoFundMe and all of this stuff, because people really in our industry, in a lot of industries, but for some reason, especially in ours, a lot of us act like gypsies, you know, the gypsies that we're accused of being.
Yes.
And so we're underprepared, we're underinsured, you know, we're under legally protected. We don't have, a lot of us don't have wills and or any kind of an estate plan. So unfortunately, we see it way too often that, you know, please help us out with so-and-so's funeral arrangements, or please click on this GoFundMe and help provide a small, you know, fund for the wife or the children or whatever it is. And it's so sad. I mean, it's just, you know, we're underprepared to begin with. But then you add in this freaking stupid year and a half that we've just been through, where it just kind of piled on top a whole additional layer of need. And then you add on top of that, the fact that a lot of people are less healthy than they were at the beginning of last year, at the end of 2019.
That's a great point to make. A lot of us, are guilty of, being home and not exercising, getting on a regimen, and overeating. We go to the cabinet.
But I mean, when you're used to being on the road, especially people who are used to being in different towns every day and being on the road and having your road family and a controlled diet of catering, you're now suddenly at home with nothing to do, and you've got all the Netflix movies you want and whatever snacks are in the cabinet and stuff.
Binge here, binge there, binge there, binge there. Yeah,
it's too easy to be unhealthy.
So easy to do. Yeah.
And I mean, fortunately, I know a lot of people who went the other direction too and said, hey, this is a great moment for me to really pay attention to my health and focus on working out and losing weight or doing that thing that I've been meaning to do for 5 years.
I would say there's an equal number of both that I've crossed paths with since COVID started and the shutdowns in early March. And there's people that have really buckled down on their exercise habits and going to the gym or just running, getting things into their homes to be able to work out. And then, the other side have gained a lot of weight and they're just, smoking ever so much, and drinking a lot. And Marcel takes a drink of the wine.
Perfect timing on that one. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
What an asshole. You're an asshole. Thank you.
Hey.
That's awesome.
I'd like to say that it's a balance of everything above,
No, exactly. So, having this talk last week with Wiseman definitely opened some eyes and got some people thinking and talking. And it was actually Michael Brokaw who reached out to me and said, have you talked to Craig about this thing that Craig is working on? And I said, yeah, actually I have. And he said, wouldn't that be a great follow-up to Wiseman? And I said, yeah, you know what? That really would. I'd love to, get more information from Craig on what's going on with that. And
I was so thankful when he called me as well. I believe it was the first call was on Thursday, and then the second call we spoke again on Saturday as a follow-up after you and I had talked. And I unfortunately missed John's discussion with you in the venue in the front house, and it sounded like it was super important. And obviously John's a very passionate person, and he's seen a lot through our industry and experienced a lot himself.
Well, so, occasionally he makes sense too.
Yeah, definitely.
Occasionally he makes sense. It's pretty awesome. Well, there's brilliant words of wisdom from a mutual friend right there. A man of many words.
Hi, John.
So, first, before we dive into the meat of this, I promised our mutual friend Marcia that I would mention something that she's got going on, which is 6 p.m. Eastern today on SiriusXM Studio 54 radio, which is channel 54 on SiriusXM. She's doing a 6-hour musical journey celebrating Pride Month, which was recorded live on June 14th, 1980 at the Ice Palace Cherry Grove on Fire Island, New York. So so Marcia's really proud of it. I'm hoping that anyone who's listening to us will jump on and listen to that. I don't have Sirius anymore, or else I would. 1980.
1980. Wow, that was
June
the year I
14th,
graduated.
1980.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, June 14th, 1980.
That is so cool, Marcia. Very, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
that time of year to be out there at Fire Island, and of course, now with some of the restrictions lifted, more people moving out that direction on the weekends and having a good time.
So back to this. So tell me, how did it start? Like, what was the foundation of Robe Backstage? Was it well before COVID that you guys came up with the idea, and then it became something, during COVID, and you were able to get it off the ground? Or
well, thanks for asking that. Thanks again for having us on, and Lori and Bryan for joining, because it's all of us contributing to get this thing off the ground. Over the last several years, well, let me go back a little bit further. When I grew up, my father was a big Shriner, and my dad did a lot of fundraising for the Shrine, and it made him very proud. And I could hear him doing this on the phone when he was not on the train. He was at home fundraising on the phone, trying to find funding for the Children's Hospital. And that made him most proud. His work, he enjoyed, but that made him most proud was the helping the kids and that sort of charity work. So that's always been somewhat inside of me and wanting to contribute in that way. So, when I went through my personal challenges, which, by the way, Lori has also had some of her own before we ever met. And so when I was going through my challenges, it made me think about, others in the industry and how blessed I was to be working for a company that could allow me the time to be able to go to the doctor appointments, go to the PET scan appointments, go to the infusion appointments. There's just so many things that just occur continuously. And
that's an incredible point. And so first of all, just to be clear, I'm not being paid by Robe to do this, but that's an incredible employer, because not every employer would have been that patient, that gracious, that, it's a big thing to carry. You're a pretty high-end employee. You carry a high-end salary. That's a big deal for a company to carry that individual and to support them as they're going through what you went through. And, so that everybody knows, Craig, maybe you could explain what you went through so we're not just kind of talking around.
Well, over the last 4 years, just after LDI 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with unsurvivable stage 4 cancer. And we knocked it down and we thought we got it all, and it came back. And it came back at a stage 3 level. And so then we had to go in and rip out some more of my internal parts and put me through, I always say that I had 49 infusions, but Kat reminded me there was actually more than that. So I went through quite a bit, and as well, 30 days of radiation, half my liver. It was an incredible experience, very humbling experience. You learn about that environment, and you see cases that they don't succeed with, and you see other cases that you think are again unsurvivable, yet people will pull through, and those are the great stories, to get people going and that get your motor running, and also made me humble. And a lot of this stuff was in my mind, and I was just kind of bouncing it around, and I have a job, and then I'm thinking, maybe there's a way we could do a benefit, a foundation, something. And so I pitched the idea to Lori. So
this is when, like mid 2019-ish?
It was right at the beginning of COVID.
Oh, okay. So last
year. Right at the beginning of COVID. But again, it had been going on in my mind. I was thinking of things because, again, what I had faced, what I'd seen others facing simultaneously, people in our industry we get to know and we see them go, and tragically, and they're, like you said earlier, they're just not prepared. And how do you help? And how could I help? And so then getting through the cancer was a big thing for me, and so I really feel like I'm here to contribute and give back in many ways how I can. And so I pitched the idea to Lori, and again, we've both gone through some of the same things, and so she understands, the fight. And Marcel, I know you as well. It affected you personally and your family.
Well, the other thing I'd like to just quickly mention is that, Craig, when you were going through this, outside of the Robe Backstage thing, you became an inspiration to a lot of people, me included. Wow. And, I had some really effed up days over the past couple of years, not just because of COVID, but some other personal struggles that I went through over the past few years.
Yes.
And there's so many times when I would just basically kick myself and say, what's Craig going through right now? How the fuck am I whining when Craig's going through what he's going through right now?
It's great to do that, to gauge when you think you're down, when you're on the ledge. There's a lot of people that go through a lot of emotional roller coaster turmoil and facing what you think is this unclimbable wall. And just compare yourself to others that have actually climbed that wall, and really gotten over it.
your situation changed me. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely did. It made me it just made me just shut the hell up, you know, quit bitching about my own little tiny problems when, you know, like I love that quote. What is it? Where, you know, a healthy person wants everything, a sick person wants one thing.
Yeah. Right.
And, you know, that quote is one of my favorites now.
Things into perspective in a big way. So, you know, that in itself is what stimulated it all. All of that stuff combining for me personally and mentally and wanting to give back and really, like, you know, I told you, Marcel, I don't hide the fact that I'm a faithful person. You know, I prayed a lot and I still pray a lot. And so, you know,
could you maybe throw one down for the Canadians tonight, the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah, I sure will.
To beat the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight.
I sure will.
I appreciate that.
I see Jean as well, so certainly I'll definitely do that.
I'd appreciate that. God bless you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Canada needs some help right now because we need to get them out of lockdown. You know, the attendance shows are important up there, and you know, they're struggling, and we need to hope and pray that these guys up there, guys and girls, get out and about, can get out of their homes and get going. You know, we're fortunate where you live and we live in Texas. Bryan and I both, and you and Lori in Florida, that, you know, we were able to open up early, and it's apparent with, you know, when you go out, people, the feeling you have now, freedom, and back really more so to normal. So getting back to it, you know, I had the idea and I threw it out there. I had no idea how Lori would react at all, and so you know, and she just embraced it, and she said, "I've been wanting to do this," and so it was just like the meeting. This being what? Finding a way to fund or to launch and fund a foundation, an organization, a 501c3 that we could help give back to people in need.
To help others, just because I know myself and Craig were both very grateful that we've gotten through certain things in life and that we've been supported by our employers and our family, and not everybody has that same support. So yes, I was excited when Craig brought it to me, and then of course I spoke to Joseph about it, who was 100% on board from the beginning, which Craig and I, knowing Joseph, we would expect that.
Yeah.
So the idea right from the very beginning was, you know, not only from our own sales at Robe, but from people who donate from outside, because you set up the 501c, which is, you know, a not-for-profit organization that allows you to collect and give out money without it becoming a huge tax burden for Robe as well.
Yeah.
But it allowed you to collect money from those who have it, and also from Robe, who are generous enough to, I guess you'll get into what they're donating into it as well, but and then be able to funnel that money out to people who need it in our industry.
That's right. Well, yeah, with Robe, regards to Robe, you know, the seed money was from Robe, and so this could have never happened really without the seed money, I think, because that is what gave us our initial funding for the advertising space, for the marketing vehicle with Relics Magazine and such, as well as good friends there with that organization that helped us get it going, you know, and how we got it going. So all that was connected, and I think, you know, it just all came together magically. And so now we have it. We have this thing. We have a website, robebackstage.org.
When did you get your status? When did you get your 501c3 status?
Good question. And that's Lori, the short answer for that, you could go ahead and
well, the short answer is about 3 months ago, and it did take a while to get that status.
It's a bitch. It's a bitch.
Yes.
We tried with We Make Events, and we kind of gave up in the end because it was just like, who's got time for this?
Right.
You know?
And with COVID, you can imagine the number of organizations that wanted to get going from COVID.
Yes.
For all types of industries and businesses and things, interests.
Yeah.
So it was a big delay for us, which is one of the things that kind of frustrated us because, you know, we couldn't get it going as fast as we wanted to. We had to wait. And then we got to a point of late last year, and Lori looked into it, and we were able to keep, you know, accurate records, of course, and legally we could go ahead and start funding some applicants that we had spread through word of mouth. Just most recently, you know, last month, I think Bryan, was when we got the press release finally out. Was only what, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, to promote it. Yeah. Right, and we got our swag. We have our swag store online now, which is for the crew. So we have T-shirts and hats and mugs, and 100% of that goes towards the applicants. And
so that's cool. So you have merchandise that people can buy, and is that on backstage.org?
It is. It's on robebackstage.org. You can find it right at the top under the shop Robe Backstage link.
So how does that work? If I go on there and I buy a couple T-shirts or something, which I'm going to do probably while we're actually doing this talk,
awesome.
But
thank you.
But if I go on there and buy some shirts, what percentage of that purchase that I make actually goes into the fund, which is then going to be dispersed to people who need the money?
100%. All of that
100%.
is donated to Robe Backstage.
The shirts themselves aren't even getting paid for, so not even the cost gets paid back?
It's donated to Robe Backstage, so yes, there is no cost.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
It's donated from Robe Lighting, but yes.
Oh, I see. So Robe Lighting's paying for all the swag, and then whatever you sell the swag for, 100% of that goes. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's
correct. Yeah. And we've also
cheers to Joseph for that one. That's very cool.
We've also committed to a percentage of our profits every year to be donated to Robe Backstage.
Wow, that is incredible. I mean, that's, for someone to set this up is amazing, but for someone to set this up in the middle of COVID, when profits are few and far between,
Lori babysitted it all the way through, and we had attorneys that were involved with us, and Lori also was able to get the attorney's fees, no cost for us to get things done that we needed to have done.
She's not easy to do. Lori, maybe we could have a call after the fact, and you could tell me how to get free attorneys. Trust me, I need
for a good cause.
Attorneys.
It's a good cause, and this thing was crucial for us.
Yeah.
And again, I think that
I sued Google, and that was a good cause, but it wasn't free.
It wasn't free. I'm sure.
Yeah, it wasn't free, and I could have used some free attorneys. I should have gone to robebackstage.org.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll call you, Lori. From now on, I'm calling you to figure out the free attorney thing.
Yeah.
So
she'll share the names. Maybe that's some of it. Like maybe I'll get this back someday.
Yeah. So shameless plug, but I own gearsource.com, which is a two-sided marketplace. Yeah. This robebackstage.org is basically a two-sided marketplace. Over here we got money. Over here we got people who need the money, and we're connecting those. And so in a sense, it's somewhat of a two-sided marketplace.
That's right.
But so other than selling shirts and stuff,
let me go through that. I'll go through that. Let me mention some of the other ways we've done this.
What I'm wondering is where's the money coming from, aside from just Robe's initial donation and selling shirts?
I'll explain. So we have promoted Robe Backstage through several positions, and one of them, and again, the one that's brought us quite a bit of funding, has been through Relics magazine and fans. Their fans stream, and so Brooklyn Bowls over the years have recorded a great number of performances of well-known artists that have played through the Brooklyn Bowl locations. And so they're able to have this fan stream where they have sponsors. And so Robe Backstage will sponsor a fan stream of, say, Phil Escher, or, whoever it may be, the artist of the choosing. And the artist also has to approve it. They have to be wanted to be associated with the backstage.org. And they'll provide approval. And at that point, we'll set up a schedule, and then the stream occurs. And Brian's been working with Connor there and put this into motion in terms of our branding and where the lower thirds, they call it, links are to get to the funding and donating pages. Bryan, you want to explain more about that?
Just worked with them to create promotional videos, to work on the graphics that they would use in the stream, the pre-show graphics. They would do a little B-roll before and after, each stream, and then at the intermission of the stream, they would give us a space as well to kind of tell the story about Robe Backstage. So that was really the thing that kicked it off. Was that partnership with Relics and Fans Be the Stream. So definitely want to give them a shout out, and thanks to those guys for being a partner
100%.
with us on that and helping us get the word out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As well as like Bryan mentioned, we had a little intro pieces that were video inserts of a couple of known LDs, and they would, talk about the Backstage initiative and who it's here to help, and people that may be popular. It was mostly towards the jam band genre because Relics tends to lean towards that, and it just seemed to work out real well for us. And we plan to do more of those. But also at the Soundcheck Nashville, we have a Robe room where the Backstage information is posted, and they do a streaming studio in there. And so, people that come through that room, they can reach our site and fund, and add and donate. And as well, the Relic streaming studio in New York, there's backstage.org signage and things where they can reach us. We're just trying to get the word out however we can, and hopefully our friends and people that are listening can help us spread the word about this. Because, again, we are helping people in our industry that have faced great adverse conditions, and we're trying to help as many as we can. And it takes the donating to do it. If people have ideas, the doors are open for listening and trying to coordinate things together. But we just want to help people.
I don't want to sound like Jerry Lewis and like this is a telethon or anything, but let's say somebody's listening to this right now and they even want to go give $20 or something into this. How do they do it? Do they just go to robebackstage.org and there's a donate button?
Straight on the website. Straight on the website.
And can they just pay with a credit card or whatever?
Absolutely. Very simple. Very simple.
So they could just donate and not even buy T-shirts, or what do you have? You've got shirts, hats.
We've got T-shirts. We've got hats. We've got backpacks. We've got pennants.
Baseball pennants. People can put on it, and it says "For the Crew" and
baseball pennants. So we've got a couple of different options for people to check out.
I'm gonna try and open the site right now so I can go look at it. Shit, now I can't find my way back to the stream. Too much stuff open. I got way too much stuff open on my screen.
You're close to that. Get some bandwidth back. You're getting thin.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Oh, here it is. I found it. So now I got to go back to the stream and I got to share my screen.
All on the website they can find. If there's someone who's listening who wants to apply for help, the application is right there. If somebody wants to give help, the information is there. And then if somebody wants to check out swag, they can do that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcel. There it is.
Cool.
We're real proud of that. We're just real proud of that.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's a great site. So
and you can see Marcel about us. It overviews, what the foundation is about.
Coffee mugs. Forgot the coffee mugs. That's what.
How the hell did you get frickin' Peter Moore in a picture? You couldn't find a better looking model than him? Jesus Christ.
It's not hard to get Peter Moore in a tight T-shirt to take a photo.
Yeah, well, I've known Peter for about probably frickin' 30-something years. I guarantee you he didn't pay for that T-shirt. I'm just saying. Peter owes somebody $25 for that T-shirt.
Are you saying that he's tight?
Well, yeah.
I don't think Peter's tight.
You don't?
No.
All right. Yeah, let's go with that then.
You may have started that, you may have kind of created some of that with him.
I love Peter.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter drove like what was that thing called? The Honda thing that you could hose down the interior. He drove one of those for like 10 years.
Element, wasn't it called? No,
Element.
Is it the Element?
Yeah, it was an Element.
Okay.
And I think Peter even had a Volkswagen thing.
Oh, really? Originally? Wow.
I believe he
those are-
did.
Yeah, that's probably worth about 50 grand now, if you had one of those still. Yeah.
Probably wishes he still had it.
That goes back to Marshall. We're talking about the 1980s. They're probably some of those on the way out
Yeah.
on island,
So going back, I mean, obviously when you've got a 501c3, the bigger job is raising money than giving it away. There's lots of need. We're going to have no trouble on that side of the two-sided marketplace. Giving the money away is relatively easy, although, I've listened to a lot of very charitable billionaires who have said, like I was listening to Ray Dalio. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but his family has a very large charity where they give away money. And he said giving away money is a lot harder than you would think. But they're doing it at a much higher level. But even still at your level, because you've got 10 people who want and need, but you've only got enough for 3, or whatever.
So,
you have to pick which
we try to move through it as the applicants come through, and we continue.
Well, hang on a sec, Craig.
Yeah.
I want to get to that, but I want to just finish up on the raising money thing first. So. You mentioned some of these ways that you're doing it, and I'm guessing the target is high net worth individuals or companies, or what really is the target? Like, who are you looking for?
Well, we haven't actually, Marcel, we haven't gotten to that point yet. Again, we just received our authorization not long ago. We had a stream maybe a month ago. And we're now planning other things. Again, we've placed these the signages in these key places. We were planning to have the roadie lounges, which is another thing that we are involved with, where various manufacturers come together at music festivals, and then people can come in and as they visit, they can donate there. So there are ideas, and we're open to other ideas and having people help us try to figure that out. This is fairly new for us. We're still trying to get going in a great capacity, because there are a lot of people to help with COVID, but this is to extend well past COVID. Once we get to the shows back, we want to get rolling there, but there will be other people that face dire situations, and we want to be able to jump in and help them, with their housing, or with their medical, or with their dental. There are things that occur to you when you go through, massive chemo that just, really kind of, consume your body in a sense, to kind of kill you, to bring you back. But there's other things, fires, and, there's just lots of
Craig, you said something earlier. You said, it was amazing that you went through what you went through. That wasn't amazing, but it was amazing that you had the support that you did from an unbelievable employer who was very patient, who was very, very generous, basically. But so many people go through that alone and without insurance and without friends or family to help them take care of it. And so,
this was on my mind constantly. That was knocking, the door was getting knocked the whole time I'm going and sitting in the chemo chair and going, how could somebody possibly get without stamping out and stamping back in, and how do they get through this? And it became very big urgency for me to come to it. The realization, then COVID hit. And again, then we just started trying to get it going. And so we hope to continue that. The challenge has been, getting enough funding to cover the applicants that we've received to date. But we, intend to do that. And again, like Lori mentioned, Robe contributing now that the business is coming back, and also these other streams and things. We'll keep doing that, and hopefully the swag will take off. So if you can, and others, spread the word about that, because as Lori mentioned, 100% of it goes to the applicants.
Yeah. No, that's huge.
To date, Lori, isn't it 60 we've helped to date, and we've got 90 total applicants so far?
Yes, we were able to help 60 people, and there are 30 more applicants, and hopefully we'll be able to help them soon with more funding.
Wow. So, I definitely want to get in that. I'm actually trying to buy something right now. So while I'm talking to you, I'm trying to buy something on.
Well, Bryan set it up, so it'd probably be smooth sailing going through there.
Yeah, I'm stuck. trying to get through.
Bandwidth
here. No, it's not bandwidth. It's just I'm forgetting passwords and I'm trying to talk to you at the same time I'm trying to buy something. So, I definitely like without getting too Jerry Lewis-ish here. Hopefully people who are listening to this right now will log into robebackstage.org, buy something, or even just click the donate button and give $50, $20, $100, whatever you can afford, without guilting people. I mean, these guys are going to be there for you when you need them. So let's fund it now, and hopefully they'll still, I don't see Robe going out of business anytime soon. So I think we're in good shape. It's funny, as soon as I asked for money, I watched the numbers go down on the people that were viewing the live stream. I love our industry.
Sometimes there'll be a chance, there will be a time. They've hopefully heard the message and generally what we are here for and the effort. And hopefully, our friends and people online and that they speak with, they can share this information and we can keep going because we're here to help people with it.
So, Lori, can you tell me? So, let's say I'm, an individual who is either, struck down with a terrible, debilitating disease or out of work or whatever it is, and I want to apply for some sort of funding. How does that work? What do I do?
You can apply straight from the website. There's a button there you click, and there is an application process. We want to make sure that we're giving to people who are truly in need.
Yeah.
So go through the application, and then we review them. Right now, as a panel, Craig, myself, Dawn Adams, and Brian all review the applicants and make a decision from there.
Okay, so that's how that works. So you guys have basically a committee that decides who gets paid out.
We just look into the applicants, and verify the information is accurate and things like that. It's a little investigative work, but we do that and we try to do it as quickly as we can. And we want people to continue to apply that are in need, and we want to, fund.
You want to make sure it's not just some designer who's trying to buy a new MA3 console or something.
Well,
I need 55,000, really bad. Sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of a terribly important situation here, but
we just do want to make sure that it is somebody in need and somebody who has had an event that's caused a loss.
Well, I'm guessing there's only so much to go around too, so you have to make decisions. And so like what kind of, I don't want to ask how much could someone get, because I think it really depends on the situation, right? You're looking at every situation, and you might look at it and go, okay, we've got this one person here who needs chemo. And, I know from my sister-in-law, it was like, I don't know, 12 or 15,000 every time she went for a treatment.
Oh, it's well above that now.
Yeah, it was insane, the amount of money it was.
A ways up there.
Yeah. So, we could take care of one person here that's, $100,000, or we could take care of 10 people who need 10,000 each, or 100 people who 1,000 feeds them for the next, 6 months or 5 months or 2 months or whatever it is.
Right.
So those are the types of decisions you guys are looking at?
I wanted to say COVID was in a unique situation because of the sheer quantity of the applicants. I think that, once the word is spread and we're out of COVID, it would be a little bit different in terms of the counts, of applicants. Hopefully that there'll be a lot of people that will come in, but under different circumstances, and so because we had kind of this, kind of a rush of what we'd call a rush of applicants. So it may be a little bit different.
There was no shortage of need during
I
COVID.
would
That's
say
for sure.
so far we've helped several people in a small way versus a few people in a big way.
Yeah. And so
that might, change as we grow. That'll change.
It's funny. Featherstone said something like that. I think it was actually on my podcast in the very early days when I started this thing called COVID Crew with him and Wiseman and Ben Salzman and Eric Loader. And Featherstone said, what? We sat around a table and said, look, we've only got this much money. We can take it all ourselves, or we can give a little bit to everyone. And that's what we want to do. We want to give a little bit to everyone.
Right.
And so you're not going to solve one person's entire world, but you're going to solve a lot of people's, make their lives a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah, we helped in a small way. That's what we tried to do.
Yeah. Well, it goes a lot further too in that sense. So, I mean, obviously, if you could get, and everyone's targeting pop stars and rock stars and stuff, but if you can get some of those people behind it, it makes such a world of difference.
We're hopeful. It'll be a blessing if we can do that, and we're going to put in the effort to try to get to those people and continue sending out the positive message, and let's just see where we can take this thing with everyone's help. If we can get that, we'll be grateful. But I think that if we can find some of those great resources, it would really help. A number of people in need. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, what are we missing here? I feel like we've missed talking about half of the stuff that we're supposed to be talking about.
No, we've actually worked through pretty much all the notes that I've actually got here.
Yeah.
Which
is
it's
huge.
We can talk about the color blue.
We did?
No, I said we can talk about the color blue.
I think we really should, because there's a lot going on there. Yeah. If you talk to me about the color blue today, I start thinking about politics and I get angry, and then I need another glass of wine to settle me down.
We definitely don't want to talk about politics.
Yeah, no, we want to avoid all that. And just come with a positive message and leave with one.
So I know that there's other charities out there. There's other things. There's one of the things about charity is there's so many things coming at you all the time, and people are trying to decide, like, what should I really put my money towards? And I've always had this thing about these organizations who have costs involved, like where you pay them $1 and 60 cents out of every dollar goes towards operating costs, aka hidden profits. Basically, somebody's making money off of you. Management are making salaries and stuff.
Right.
Can I assume that, Craig, you're not getting paid anymore?
Nobody is. Everybody's
Or you're not getting a bonus for doing this or anything?
No, right now it's 100% volunteer. Of course, in the future as we grow, we might have
put an admin in. Yes,
but it will not be anyone associated with Robe Lighting. All Robe Lighting employees.
And it won't be anybody making some massive salary. It'll be an admin to manage paper and shove paper across desks.
Michael Brokaw, and I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, in a conversation that we had this weekend. Michael helped me, foresee some of these things, and obviously I spoke with Lori about it, and she was aware of this. There comes a time as things will grow, and that's what we want to do. We want to be able to grow it here in North America, and who knows, maybe take it to the other subsidiaries internationally, or other friends internationally, and really get this thing going globally to be able to help people in our industry, because we are a world touring industry in a sense. All of us move around, lots of flights, buses, and planes, trains, and automobiles.
I don't know if
it'll take time. It'll take time. Like you said, people putting effort in, and it becomes more of a full-time job as opposed to things that we can just do as we can get to them.
No, I completely get it. So I don't know if Strickland is watching or listening, but he obviously has a knack for talking to some of these government people, and I can't help but imagine what an organization like yours could do with $1 or $2 million, from the Fed, versus $1 trillion or $500 billion or all this money these guys are throwing out. And my current pet peeve is absolutely the venue thing. This SVGA.
Michael's put in a ton of work on that, and he keeps everybody updated and abreast of things. And,
no, I know, but I hate it. I hate it, and I know there are some small venues. A lot of them on 6th Street or whatever in Austin. There's small venues who really are hurting, and this is life-changing. Money that they're getting from the government, which is great. But when you look at it on the whole,
it's taken so long.
You've got an industry that's this big, and this part of it over here is getting really well taken care of with government grants right now, and the rest of us are getting nothing. So, I just can't imagine what if they were just to, like, you know, with the Fed right now, when they talk in terms of trillions, which you never heard trillion until just recently, right? But
yeah,
now trillion is a very common term.
9 trillion here, 8 trillion there.
Yeah. Let's have another
there.
trillion. Yeah. So, but if we just had a couple $1 million into an organization like yours, it would make a world of difference for so many people.
It would be incredible.
Maybe some people who are going to die from some debilitating disease would
well,
survive.
Marcel, you know, before we launched today, you know, I had mentioned to you a situation with a gentleman.
Hell yeah, Bob Harmon.
Hey, Bob.
Attaboy.
How you doing, Bob?
Attaboy. Love
Aloha.
that. Love that.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Yeah. Love that.
Fantastic. But, you know, I was saying that, you know, I've got the unfortunate news of, you know, a dire situation again with cancer, and he's facing, you know, real big challenge ahead of him, some major surgeries, and, you know, he's going to be unable to work just simply because of the regimen he needs to go through immediately. You know, it's just from one day to a complete life-changing event. And, you know, 3 days later, you've got a port in you and you're doing a completely different thing. And that's all you're going to be doing, you know, for 2 months and then major surgery. So, you know, that's been on my mind, weighing on my mind. There'll be many of those cases, unfortunately, but we want to be able to help them. So y'all help us help people.
Absolutely. No, I mean, again, I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you're doing this all on your time, on your dime. Well, on Joseph's dime, I guess, for the most part, your time, his dime. Yeah. But, you know, again, I mean, I know there's other charities out there. I know the Live Nation one, what's that called? Crew Nation.
Crew Nation.
Crew
Nation, right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's a behind the scenes as well. And we feel like that's great. You know, more resources for people, the better. And that's what we wanted to do, is really be able to help and on our own, you know, and also support those others, you know, and talk positively about them. And I know that they're helping people. So
yeah. No, I mean, and you know, I don't know what's going on with Crew Nation. I know they made a lot of noise in the early days.
Yeah.
And then I heard they had a lot of trouble because they collected a whole bunch of money. They had a bunch of money in it.
Okay.
And then the handing out of money became very problematic.
Well, why was that? Well,
I don't remember. I mean, this was a 6 months ago conversation. And I don't know if they fixed that. I'm not really sure exactly what the status is. If anyone's listening right now and you know, please go ahead and type in a comment so we can share it. But I think one of your competitors, Chauvet, I think they started something at one point, but I never really heard of where that went.
Okay.
But, you know, I'd love to see more people getting involved. I mean, even if it's competitors getting together and saying, hey, you know, we love what you're doing, Craig. We'd like to join in and
we would welcome
because our industry needs help. You know, and one of the things I've been talking about for a year on this weekly happy hour thing that I was doing, especially with Strickland, is the fact that our industry had no coverage prior to all of this. Our industry didn't have shared insurance or shared any kind of help really for our industry.
Right. We hadn't put anything in place. That's right.
Yeah. So so the fact that you know, now companies like yours and people like you guys are stepping up to do this stuff, you know, to me it's just massive. So
hopefully we can take it into big places and do big things with it. That's our intent. So that is our long term. You know, we're going to continue to do these outreaches, and if you have a space for some backstage signage, we'll get that to you, and we'd love to have that posted, you know, in your
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, I'll certainly do that with my own stuff. All of the stuff that I do.
We'd love that, Marcel. We'd be very grateful.
You guys are doing so.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people grateful.
So yeah, maybe Bryan, let's get together in the next couple of days, and you can send me some collateral, and we'll figure out how to promote it a little better through. You know, Gear Source gets, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 people a day on the site, so we can certainly get it out to those people. And
happy to do so.
What about trade shows and stuff? Are you doing anything special with any of the trade shows that are coming up, or?
We do have some plans
No.
around at LDI, since that'll be the first time that the industry will really, fingers crossed, of course, but it seems like everything's moving ahead for LDI to be a good show where everybody can finally get together again and see each other face to face and high five and give
I'm
hugs
hopeful
and
everybody's
drink.
working. I'm hoping everybody's working, and they're going to be doing shows, and they're going to be like,
well, Craig, I don't know
show.
about you, Craig, but I've been setting up some meetings to go out and see some people, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, we got like 4 shows going out that week, or everybody's so busy coming up this summer.
Fantastic.
So especially July is like hell month for our industry, or heaven
thankfully,
month,
thankfully
I guess.
more people are saying that the quotes are increasing, and the shows are starting to come back, and again in certain areas they are having fully extended shows now without masks. So
So this is an interesting comment. We can't ship product to Canada.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, Claudette's trying to order something for Canada. I was going to actually ask you, so is this only a U.S. program? So like if I'm a roadie who's in desperate need and I live in the U.K., everybody's in desperate need right now because they will never open this frickin' place. Yeah. But, if I'm in the U.K., no, don't call Robe.
Right now, we've started in North America. In the future, that will change, but for now, it's in North America.
Okay.
And we wanted to show it succeed and work and test the things that will work and advance it a bit, and then hopefully we can show our colleagues or others how to implement it internationally.
Crawl, walk, run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the thing is with the shipping the swag internationally, Brian.
I bet that'll be fixed by tomorrow.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Brian ain't gonna sleep tonight until Claudette can get her damn T-shirt to Canada. Yeah. Well, this is very cool, you guys. I can't say it enough. I love what you're doing. I'm so happy and proud and thrilled with what you guys are doing. It's so necessary.
We agree with you. It's been exciting, and we want it to just become extremely large and continue to help people. And there's a lot of people out there that need help. We all know that. We've heard the stories, and hopefully this will be a method for people that will hopefully save some lives and help improve their lives.
You know what, Craig? You and I are very close to the same age, and it's funny because as we get older, you shift from how much can I help myself to how many people can I help. I think both of us have always been the kind of people who would help anyone around us, and sometimes for me to a fault. But like for me, if there were ever to be talk of me leaving a legacy or anything, I would want to help a lot of people, and that would be my legacy. I don't even want to be famous because of it. I don't want anything. I just want to help lots of people and them to think, hey, that guy had an impact on my career or my life or whatever, that'd make me
that's
really
a good
happy.
point. It's who remembers you, and it's the people you can help.
Any famous last words? Brian, Lori, Craig, anyone?
I just wanted to thank you for this outlet to talk about what we're doing.
No, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Super happy we were able to do this. And
if anybody has any questions at all ever about backstage.robebackstage.org, please feel free to call me, call the office in Florida, and we can all get on the phone together, or we can work out getting together and doing some funding efforts. We'd love some help with that, and again, it goes for a good cause. So
and let's buy some T-shirts and hats and whatever else is on their backpacks, cups. Let's fund this thing, because the giving money away part is super fun, but you can't do that unless you're raising it on the other side. So
that's right.
Let's help these guys out. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
I appreciate
you so much,
you.
Marcel. Thank you. Really thank you.
Have a good
one.
one.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for taking time this afternoon to listen.
I'm super happy you're healthy, Craig.
Thank you very much. Me too.
You had me worried for a minute.
We were all worried.
See you later, guys. Thanks
Bye-bye.
so much.